is trying to reshape its relationship with Africa. It's about a new generation, a new outlook at a new balance of power, from the economy to culture to sport to the environment. French President Emmanuel Macron says that he wants France-Africa ties to evolve past some still very weighty colonial baggage. Fresh conversations need fresh voices. Ahead of a huge France-Africa summit in the French city of Montpellier, dozens of young leaders from across Africa have come to Paris to share their views with their French contemporaries. Here at this get-together in central Paris, organised by the French Africa Foundation, about 92 young leaders from France and Africa have come together to exchange culture, expertise and outlook. Pierre Chabi is French and Beninese. Pierre, you were involved in this morning's icebreaker, and one of the things we heard being talked about a lot was this idea of bridging the divide. What does that mean for you? What are you here hoping to see in terms of changes between France's and Africa's relationship?
For me, I work in the production of cartoons for kids and educational contents. So what I see is that in France we have this particular skill which is about animation. French people are really skilled at animation. They are great schools. And on the other part, in Africa, there are lots of stories, narratives that are not told to even the African kids or to the world. And there is something that we could do in this area, bridge the gap between creativity and content to show our stories to the world.
So the Wakatoon app, do you see it as being more African or international, or does that even matter?
Well, Wakatoon is international, but the name is a bit, it's a mix of Yoruba and English, actually. Waka means common in Yoruba, and toon is cartoon. Wakatoon is a platform. It's a streaming service that displays cartoons that kids can personalize from their own drawings on paper, their own coloring on paper. The idea here and why I applied to this program is in part because we have the ambition to create a catalog of content that starts with a very balanced representation. All the catalogs are unbalanced today, and we have a new type of content, and we wanted to start with as much African stories than French country, European content, and so on. So we want to meet African creators, studios, and have more and more contents produced in Africa.
Now, there are also French young people at the event as well. Jean, you're French and Romanian. What do you do and why are you here? What do you expect to get out of this gathering?
What do? I just started working for the United Nations after 10 years for the European Union. What do I expect to get from this gathering is basically harness the potential of putting young people together. I think we need to bet on youth. Many people in Africa and in Europe and in France try to oppose us. And I think actually we have common aspirations. When you're a young person from France or Europe or Benin or Zimbabwe, you want to grow up in a peaceful environment, you want to breathe fresh air, have access to an education, find a job that fulfills you. And it doesn't matter if you're from Zimbabwe or Estonia or France, basically. And so I think these platforms are very important for that, precisely. It's not just about meeting, it's about co-creating stuff and making things happen.
Now, with this reinvigorated engagement with the continent, French President Emmanuel Macron has been reaching out to Anglophone Africa with unusual gusto, from multi-billion-dollar contracts in Nigeria and Kenya to solar and electricity deals in Tanzania. Paris is more and more looking beyond its traditionally francophone sphere of influence. But African young people are also interested in crossing this English-speaking, French-speaking divide. Now, Uche, you are the founder of a digital media platform, Bella Niger. It's doing pretty well, about 1 million hits already a month. So why do you see the need to come to Paris all the way from Nigeria?
Thank you. So a big part of what we do at Bella Niger is seeking out ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And to be in a room full of them is simply amazing. And people from all over the continent. A gap that I've noticed in my work over the last 15 years is that we definitely have amazing people in Africa, but are we doing enough to collaborate across language barriers, across various barriers that have been created for various reasons. I think there are gaps there that need to be filled, and that's why I'm here. I'm excited to meet everybody here, and it's really good stuff so far.
So you think that there's a need for crossing the gap between English speakers and French speakers on the ground within Africa, but what does, France have to do with making that happen?
Absolutely, there's a need. And I'll tell you, there's power in collaboration. So you talked about investment coming from the French side. And it's great. It's great that we have the French companies doing stuff in Africa. But guess what? There's a sweet spot with collaboration. We would love to see African companies as well being able to cross over to the other side. And even for the existing companies, collaboration. So we do a lot of work in the creative media space, creative industries like music, movies, and things like that. Just imagine the magic and the economic power and the development that can happen where we have both sides benefiting equally from these business arrangements.
So cultivating better French-African ties goes beyond development and big business. It's a way for both regions to cultivate better access to skills and innovation at a diplomatic, grassroots, and cultural level. Of this year's Paris Fashion Week, African creative voices were louder than ever. The growing appreciation for African designs and designers at this highlight of the global fashion calendar is welcome, but has been a long time coming. Many working in African luxury say that the display of haute couture from the continent helps to dispel some misconceptions about Africa and demonstrates the value of African cultural and creative currency.
20,000 hand-sewn flowers. The work of South African designer Thebe Magugu is strung throughout the iconic Parisian luxury store Le Bon Marché. Magnificent but fragile, the installation is almost a metaphor for the position of African creatives in the international world of fashion. In 2020, Cameroon's Iman Aissi became the first sub-Saharan African designer to show in the exclusive Paris Haute Couture Week.
I wanted to be here not only to represent myself, but to represent Africa. Africa is here, and I hope others will follow me, so we become a group of Africans that take over this world, the world of fashion.
And to do that, Paris Fashion Week is still seen as an important rite of passage.
It's a trade event, so presentation of collections. It's a time that a lot of commercial engagements take place, so that is always important for designers, especially of African origin.
The international rise of African designers also relies on the development of the luxury market in Africa, an evolution headed by and for Africans.
We created Luxury Connect Africa in 2017 as a platform that will congregate African luxury and bring attention to the richness of our creative and cultural heritage, narrated by us, presented by us, produced by us, and then given access by us.
I think there's a lot to be really analyzed and see how can we structure our own industry and benefit from it ourselves, by creating opportunities and really great infrastructure based with on our own culture, the way we live, the way we eat, the way we wear clothes,
A more structured and supportive approach to the continent's creative industries could lead to a show-stopping future, both at home and abroad for Africa's fashion ambassadors.
As France and Africa's cultural exchange over luxury and fashion grows more profound, with all the economic and artistic benefits that come with that, there are millions of people who probably never have anything to do with the sectors. Civil society groups, though, have a wider impact on shaping quality of life. In Kenya, France has created a special fund for groups supporting women and girls.
Nairobi's Mathare slum is home to more than 500,000 people. Vivian grew up there and faced violence and abuse as a teen.
Maybe you see your friend buying something, you don't have that thing, you go home, maybe you don't eat. So you just be forced to get in some bad advice is that will make you want to earn or get something small to buy what you saw. And for you to do that, it's either one you peddle drugs or someone just tell you, hey, come, a man or a boy will use you.
Her passion for football helped her avoid bad situations. Today, she's the goalkeeper of the national team. She created an association with others in the neighborhood to help young adolescents, especially girls. This Saturday, the Madare Foundation came in to talk to them about football.
Tunaenda kusoma kitu inaitwa refereeing, sawa? Najua ref ni nani? Najua ref ni nani? Yeah. We really found teachings like this. Even in my time, I didn't find class like this. So when I get them like this to teach the kids, it feels good.
It's about teaching them skills, because when you train them, you have to teach them about leadership, like being role models in the society, how you can take care of yourself in the community.
To keep young girls in Madare engaged, the foundation created a women's championship. The youngsters attended every Saturday.
Football is for everybody. Even an old woman can play football.
The director of the organization says it's important for the community to come together to create a better life for young people.
When we wait for the government and when we start saying the government does not do this, that is not helping the people. The thing is, we need to, whatever we are doing, we are doing it because we are so passionate about it and because we understand the gaps that exist in the slums, issues of crime, issues of early marriages, issues of pregnancies, and so on and so forth. So with us, we are trying to mitigate these issues that are in place.
Now boys are also interested in the matches. By putting them on an equal footing and helping them grow confidence in themselves, the foundation hopes that the girls will take the reins of their future.
The French government isn't alone in seeing opportunity in getting closer to Africa. French citizens do too. And for those intrepid entrepreneurs keen on jumping in to make the most of vibrant, future-focused African societies, language is no barrier.
Since landing in Cape Town, she hasn't looked back. Leonore is from Lille. She had a career in marketing, but she gave it all up to start a jam business. This Monday, she bought 150 kilos of fruit to prepare for Christmas.
We have it all, from the most exotic fruits like passion fruit and mangoes, to more continental fruits such as strawberries, cherries. And here we're in the midst of citrus season. So we're actually very rich in fruit here.
Mango with passion fruit, orange with ginger, or fig with lavender. These are her grandmother's recipes. Leo produces over 100 jars a day. Though her work is rooted in French tradition, she says she's happy living in a country with few historical links to France.
I chose South Africa despite the fact that it was an English-speaking country because I felt it was like a blank page, where being French in an African country doesn't come with baggage and prejudices. I was quite happy being French in an English-speaking country in Africa.
South Africa is also full of opportunities for quality artisans. Every weekend, Leo comes to this market. UK media has ranked it amongst the top 15 in the world. It's a great showcase for young entrepreneurs.
It's thanks to my stand here that I'm able to sell in the most beautiful hotels and grocery stores of Cape Town.
Many of the clients are French. The community is very supportive of business people who come here and try their luck.
Can you put them in the pram, Alba? Well, we're so far away, miles away from home, that we do what we can to support local businesses.
At the market, a native from Brittany makes crepes. He has been here for more than 15 years. He thinks the country is attracting more young French people.
Being able to learn English in the sun, it's cheaper than going to London. I think it's attractive for students.
Leonore's business is entering a fourth year. Her turnover doubles every year. Passionate about her job and in love with Cape Town, she suspects she's settled in for good.
Going forward, there are benefits on both sides of the relationship. Africa is already a cultural force, and it has the world's youngest and fastest growing continental population. It's a fact France can't afford to ignore. In trying to re-examine its narrative and recreate a new relationship with its colonial history with the continent, there is now more hope of creating new, more mutually positive ways of engaging for France and Africa.